Welcome to the Rocket Right Show, starring Hurricane Betsy Barnes and Dr. K. Solar. Two busy blondes with their fingers on the pulse of all things Louisiana. Events, health, leisure, entertainment, and more. It's the Rocket Right Show. And now, here's Betsy and Kay.
And welcome. We are so glad that you decided to spend a little time enjoying all the great things about Louisiana with the people, places, and events that we love to enjoy, especially this time of year, going into Memorial Day weekend and summertime. So now that a lot of the kids are out of school, we've had a lot of graduations, Mother's Day, we're ready to kick off into summer. So we're going to be sharing a little bit about what's coming up, and that's going to be with Jay Hover. He's with Red Stick Social. He plans all of their big events, and we're going to be speaking with him, as well as James Fox Smith, the publisher of Country Roads Magazine. Everything from the North Shore to Natchez, all the little byways and hidden gems that you may or may not be aware of, but he's going to give us the rundown and his recommendations. But our first guest is State Representative Mike Echols. He is from the northern part of Louisiana, around Ouachita Parish. He really is the man in the know, and he's traveling back and forth up and down the highway between Monroe and Baton Rouge as the state rep for District 14. So thank you so much for coming.
You know, the only downside of that is I have to drive through Mississippi.
I know. Got to reroute that road.
I agree.
I'm really glad you came. This is a very, I'd say, active legislative session. And one of the things that I wanted to cover in this particular show was all the great things going on around Louisiana, but we have to pay for them, and we have to legislate them, and we have to kind of govern in a way that makes sense post-pandemic, post-serious hurricane season. And so you really have your finger on the pulse of a lot of things all over Louisiana, but a lot of times we don't hear about what's going on in the northern part, which really is kind of the same in many cases, like employment law or promoting the arts or things like that. So I wanted you to just come and give us a little rundown about what's going on in the session.
Absolutely. Well, there's a lot of things going on in North Louisiana, and being from the Monroe area and Ouachita Parish, we have a lot of cultural activities, a lot of arts activities, but economic development activities. Northeast Louisiana, probably known in that region, is a kind of a mega center for healthcare, a lot of healthcare services coming out of that market, but also agriculture, manufacturing, and just general business. There's a lot of great things that are happening there. But on the arts scene and cultural scene, we have great things going on there too. I know you've got a great guest coming up that highlights a lot of those things, yes. And they've got things in their magazine that talk about those great cultural events that are going on. So we've got a lot to be proud of, and we're glad to have positive things happening this session, new infrastructure dollars that are being dedicated not only to southern Louisiana but northern Louisiana. They're going to make things better for everybody.
Yeah. So you a little bit about your background. You've done some things in construction, historic cultural districts. You've renovated some older buildings to kind of keep the flavor and the architecture of Monroe, West Monroe thriving, turning those spaces into something else, giving them new life. And so I think that's important for people to know, because you are rooted in, dug in, invested in the future of Louisiana.
We put our money where our mouth is over the last 15 years. And when you start in historic preservation and restoration, you typically start with an old home, and then you get the bug. You want to fix those old structures. And then over the last 15 years, we've acquired 30-plus commercial buildings in our historic downtowns, and we've slowly but surely been renovating those. When you look at a downtown, it's really the heart and soul of a community.
It is.
And if you repair the heart is good and it's doing well, then that really transcends the rest of the community and creates a healthy environment. So we're invested in our downtowns. We want to see our cultural districts, our historic districts thrive. And by doing that, by bringing in great arts, great food, great drink, great retail and those types of things, and then living environments, that's what motivates us. And we get up every day and do those types of things.
Well, it carries on the history into the next generation.
Absolutely.
So, the difference it makes in the last 4 generations makes such a difference with small children, and they get memories of places that aren't just falling apart. And people leave. They just leave when a place isn't healthy like that?
Well, one of the buildings we started on about a year ago is the oldest African-American business building in Northeast Louisiana. And the building was set to be condemned and torn down. We were able to acquire it, put together a project that's going to bring in a financial resiliency center where folks can come in and get education around everything from balancing a checkbook, getting your taxes done, but learning financial literacy. And that's a community asset and a resource. Big deal. Also, affordable housing and those concepts. So we're taking something that was forgotten and bringing back what may have been very important in the civil rights movement. We have other buildings that we've done that were retail stores where people went in and they may have had their first date or a soda, and they remember that. When they come back, they relive those memories, and that's so important. We hear that all the time with people that come back and can experience what they remember 50 years ago.
Yeah. But that's what people love about Louisiana is the culture and the history and the memories and building new memories with their families. And so, I've been through Monroe, I've been through West Monroe. So thank you for what you've done there, because it really has made a tremendous difference. And I didn't realize it was 30 buildings. I mean, that's
it's
really
a few
huge.
more than that, but we've been working hard over the last 15 years, and it's a labor of love. My wife's an architect, and she's a big part of that process. And so we work on a team-based approach, and we have a really good team.
Yeah, you do. You do. And then you're also working in the healthcare industry through insurance and other types of programs that help people maintain their financial stability.
Sure. I've worked with Vantage Health Plan for the last 10 plus years. We have a large physician group. We have a hospital, and then we work in multiple states, have over 1,000 employees in North Louisiana. Also some historic buildings which we occupy in our downtown. So it's kind of fun to be able to work in the healthcare space in multiple facets, both from the health plan, the group practice, and the hospital, and then also do some historic preservation while we're making those healthcare decisions.
So I think that it's really important that when people come to the Capitol, that they have a real wealth of knowledge and experience, and they've invested in their time and energy and money too in their local communities. I think that that's really, truly important, and that helps you have much more of a vested and deep interest in the outcome. It's not about the credit, it's about the outcome for your children.
If you look at the diversity of issues that we're going to see at the Capitol, it may be healthcare one day, it could be labor, it could be civil law, it could be, all these different topics, finance. We impact everything as legislators when it comes to the laws and the fabric that we live by. So having a wealth of knowledge and different perspective and views, that really enhances the legislation that we're able to file, and hopefully successful legislation that helps with the rules that we follow as citizens of our state.
Yeah. I want to talk to you a little bit about a couple of the bills that you have brought forward and a couple of things that you think are important. So Medicaid, we have just a couple of minutes, and I want you to stay over into the next segment so we can talk about some of these bills and some of the things that you're seeing in this session that may concern you. So regarding Medicaid, the Louisiana Department of Health to utilize increased collections from pharmacies. Tell us a little bit about
pharmacy
that.
rebates. Yeah, so I filed a House concurrent resolution. So each year, the state of Louisiana, because we represent, over half of our budget it comes through the Medicaid program. If you look at the Medicaid program, well over 20 to 30% of that budget is prescription related. We get rebates as a state from some of these pharmacy benefit managers and other relationships we have in the pharmaceutical world. The House resolution I filed, unfortunately in Louisiana, our primary care doctors, those are your pediatricians, your primary care doctors. They're some of the lowest paid physicians or providers in the state or even in the South. We pay them 67% of the Medicare fee schedule. And so my proposal there was to take any additional collections over what is budgeted and put it back towards physician reimbursement, essentially. And so I think we need to come up with a more fair wage, especially when you're serving the Medicaid population. These are individuals with really chronic and challenging healthcare conditions, and so our physicians should be paid in a reasonable fashion to take care of individuals in that program.
Absolutely, because there's a lot of doctors that do not take Medicaid patients.
Absolutely. So
and that's their right, but nonetheless, we need more healthcare providers.
If you paid them fairly, it gives more access. You get more access. It lowers the cost of care over time. So primary care is where you get that access and where you help reduce long-term health care cost as well as chronic conditions.
I agree with you. We're going to be right back talking with State Representative Mike Echols. And then a little later in the show, we're going to talk to Jay Hover with Red Stick Social about the wonderful things they have going on for Memorial Day weekend and beyond. And James Fox Smith with Country Roads Magazine. So hang tight. We'll be right back on Rock It Right.
There's a joy of life you'll find only in Louisiana. A spirit of celebration that takes your senses places they've never been before. Where expressions of joy are an art form and our way of life. Where an abundance of good food, good times, and great music means there's more than enough to go around. Come one, come y'all. Come feed your soul in Louisiana. I'm John Goodman, inviting you to visit LouisianaTravel.com and plan your getaway today.
The use of opioids and addiction to opioids is on the rise, especially in Louisiana, and I wanted to be a part of the solution. If you have a family member or loved one that you are concerned about with regard to opioid use, please call my clinic, Advantage Health Solutions. You can speak with my nurse or you can speak with myself, and we will talk to you about how to get that person into treatment, and we'll tailor what we do to your needs, and we'll do what we can to get your loved one in treatment and onto the path to health.
Hi, I'm Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser of the great state of Louisiana. Hurricane Ida has brought great devastation to our community. In time of need, Louisianans always step up and help their neighbor. This time is no different. We'll help our neighbors and friends get back as we always do. If you need help or know of someone that needs help or would like to volunteer or make a donation, go to volunteerlouisiana.gov. We are Louisiana Strong. Thank you.
Red Stick Music, Baton Rouge's live music calendar since 2014, with a full calendar available on the website 24/7, clickable links to artists and venues. View the entire weekend lineup at a glance and plan your outings with your friends. View professional recordings of local live musicians. Watch interviews with people in our music community and find additional resources. Red Stick Music, Baton Rouge's live music calendar.
At Trip Chat, we believe special places shouldn't go undiscovered and good stories shouldn't go unheard. Imagine exploring a new area while listening to amazing stories about the places and people who made it what it is today.
This great waterway courses through 10 states, starting in northern Minnesota and ending in Louisiana. The connectivity of the river drains 41% of the continental United States and carries more water than any other waterway. The fabric of America truly is woven from the common thread of the Mississippi River.
This community tapas bar and grill reels in, sautés, and perfectly plates earthy yet refined flavors by marrying chic urban elegance with rustic Spanish simplicity. We transport flavors from traditional Spain fused with international tastes. Over 240 different species of birds have been spotted making their homes around and in this lake. This beautiful lake is a great place for all kinds of recreation, like fishing, boating, picnicking, and a beautiful walking trail.
When you discover new places and learn what the locals already know, you maximize your experience.
Fill your tote with local treasures ranging from...
Immerse yourself in the culture and communities that surround you. With up to 12 categories to select from, stories are delivered to you based on your interests. Trip Chat, the free Audible tour guide app that helps you discover great places through authentic storytelling, so you eat, stay, and play like a local. Download Trip Chat, then drive, walk, or run, and go find your fun.
Since the early 1800s, the Selassie family has played a significant role in the retail industry in Louisiana. Stuart Selassie has achieved the Certified Diamond Graduate designation from the prestigious Gemological Institute of America. What that means to you, whether it's appraisals, design, build, repair, or diamond sales, you have an expert you can count on. At Selassie's, you make all the right choices. Selassie Jewelry and Fine Gifts in the heart of the Denham Springs Antique District. Find them on Facebook.
And welcome back to Rocket Right. I am Hurricane Betsy Barnes here with State Representative Mike Echols. We are talking about what's going on in the legislative session as the way it relates to pocketbook politics and our family's health and well-being. Dr. Kay Solar is in Nashville. She's getting ready for CMA Fest and with her son CJ Solar, so she'll be back in the weeks ahead. But so this legislative session, so many different things after the pandemic, tons of one-time money that's coming
billions
in.
Of dollars.
Billions. Are we ever going to have this kind of money come in again? I mean, I hope there's not a disaster that would cause it, but it really is, after the storms, the hurricanes.
Well, we're not done yet. There's going to be some more next year, too.
Well, in just a week or two.
Yeah.
That's when the season starts. Yeah. So tell me a little bit about what you think is the most important bills moving forward and those that you have something to do with. I think that's really important.
First, structurally, if you look at what has changed over the last 12 months and the legislation that was run last session and this session, I think the big key word in all of this is infrastructure. Last year took a bill that ended up reinvesting licensing and fees, $400 million a year in reoccurring dollars to infrastructure. That's a big deal. This year, another $1 billion plus put back into infrastructure, mega projects as well as our local projects, multiple billions of dollars. So if you're looking at the highlights for the last 12 months, it's all about roads, bridges, water, and sewer.
And internet.
And internet, yeah.
We've got to have broadband. We've got to have some solution to get people connected.
Absolutely.
For education and for workforce development.
So $200 million, give or take, going into that rural broadband deployment.
But how long is that going to take?
So you're probably looking at 3 to 5 years before you see that rolled out. But if you look at, you've been in the dark ages for 100 years, we're within 3 to 5 years of solving that problem.
Yeah.
So at least one problem will be solved, and then the beginning of fixing the reoccurring infrastructure problems. We've got somewhere between a $10 and $20 billion backlog in those major infrastructure projects. Louisiana has a wealth of resources, natural resources, agriculture, forestry. Getting those products to market is a big deal. We're expanding our ports. We're lowering the channels by 3 to 5 feet to be able to move products up and down the Mississippi. So I think all those investments will pay off long term, but we're just going to have a few pain points over the next several years to build those roads and bridges, fix those rivers, and of course the internet.
Well, between the capital and where you live in Monroe, there's a lot of people that can't see what's going on the internet news. They can't look for jobs.
They have to listen to me on the radio.
Yeah, exactly. Old timey. That's right. In case you didn't know, Mike Echols is Echols at 8, and that's on KMLB.
Talk 540 KMLB, 104.7 The Gator, 103 KWLA .1.
That's right.
So it's all northern Louisiana and a few parts kind of getting close to Baton Rouge.
Yeah, some of the same stations our show is
absolutely.
on. Yeah, Ted Dumas is wonderful in Natchitoches, and he carries you on all 8 stations. So altogether, I think you're 9 stations all around the state.
At least.
Every Wednesday morning at 8 a.m.
For 20 years.
For 20
This marks our
years.
20th year of doing the show.
Mm-hmm. It's a good show.
I've got a face for radio. I'm not used to all these cameras.
So tell me a little bit about a couple of other bills. Real quick, we've got a little time, but I think it's so important that, we talk about insurance, we talk about health care, but I thought you had one that was really kind of interesting.
They're two cool bills. One bill's kind of cool, and the other bill's very significant. We're in a really odd state of affairs with the mental health of our citizens, not only in the state of Louisiana, but
mental health
across America. House Bill 278 is a bill that's kind of special in that it creates a psychiatric collaborative care model. It takes your family practice physician, psychiatrists, social workers, behavioral health workers, puts them on a team-based approach. It'll long-term help reduce ER costs and other psychiatric conditions because people will get treated in a holistic environment.
Yes.
That bill passed out of the House. It was through Senate committee today, and so it's a very important bill to ensure the psychiatric stability of our population going forward.
And that's one that you authored.
It is.
Yeah, that is so important. We do not have enough mental health care professionals and those that can support our students. We're seeing all over the country
It's an epidemic of epic proportion.
Yeah. We need diagnosis of people in their middle school ages, high school ages, just to prevent some of the things we're seeing nationally.
Another fun bill, an arts-based license plate. And I didn't realize the significance of it to the arts community, but basically creating an arts-based license plate and, the French term, let the good times roll. Well, this is going to be the French term for let the arts roll. And so there's a group of artists that are having a competition to design an arts-based license plate and to have the arts community be able to celebrate and to be able to celebrate it with on the back of your car as a license plate and a design. That's been a fun one, and to see the artists.
They say arts roulette.
You got it.
Let the arts
That's
roll.
it. Let the arts roll.
I love that.
It's fun.
Yeah, and it's another way to just promote as you're going across the country or
Absolutely.
wherever you're going, and people see your arts. Like, they have the one for the Black Bear and for Louisiana seafood and others. That's a really good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think some of your artistic friends came up with that.
They did. I'm not that smart. They are, but I'm happy to carry those pieces of legislation. Anything we can do in the healthcare space, the arts space, the cultural space, economic development, or infrastructure, I typically support.
So what do you see as far as us being able to really help people that were damaged by Hurricane Ida and others, but people from Hurricane Ida in South Louisiana? What do you see as any legislation that's kind of helping move forward some of the progress, or have you seen anything?
Oh, no. Significant movement in the coastal restoration programs that are out there. Billions of dollars that are now being invested. Major projects that are being launched each and every day. Of course, we've toured and seen a lot of what those projects are. Rebuilding some of the embankments, rebuilding some of the coastline, the marsh, those types of things. I think that'll have a significant impact as you have sea level changes and, of course, more fierce storms. But resiliency is a word we continue to talk about in the legislature. How do we bury power lines? How do we bury critical infrastructure that when a storm comes in, you pop back up? Huge damage in Lake Charles, obviously. Huge damages in places like Houma and the eastern and western parts of Louisiana. So we're going to have more significant conversations around that resiliency. Yeah. And I do believe, though, we are making those strategic investments, hundreds of millions of dollars going towards a lot of those projects over the next 12 to 24 months as well.
Mm-hmm. So what would you say, kind of, if you had a theme for this legislative session after the year or two that we've had? What would you say is kind of the theme or the resounding, the echo that you're hearing for the positive for Louisiana?
Revitalization and investment. I think because of the federal dollars that have rolled through, enhanced sales tax collections, and literally after our economy was choked off, many of it by artificial government shutdowns. The government shouldn't have shut us down the way they did as long as they did. It really, really hurt so many people in ways you can't even describe. But fortunately, because of the resources that are there now, we can recover from this. It's going to take some time, but we also have to rebuild our business community as we do that.
Seafood industry. I mean, they were just battered so badly.
So many industries that were devastated that did not have to be devastated.
Yeah. So as you go back and forth between Monroe and Baton Rouge, what are you kind of hearing from people?
I think the people are their biggest concerns is always jobs and economic security. And if you look at across Louisiana, but this isn't just a Louisiana problem, but crime is a big problem everywhere. When we made and I wasn't there when they made the criminal justice reforms, but we have to reform the reforms. We've done things that have put people in a position where they're not looking at, I guess it's accountability. We've gotten rid of a lot of the accountability measures, and I think if we're going to hold people accountable, we've got to hold people accountable. And so reforming some of the reforms so we can help reduce crime in some of our major cities as well as our smaller communities is something that's a big deal.
I personally think that if we had more mental health professionals in schools, starting at young ages, just to be there to talk to them, because the things that go on at home are sometimes very difficult, but the things that go on at school are sometimes challenging after you've been out of school so long, like we were during the pandemic. A lot of kids trying to catch up, a lot of people feeling pressure to perform.
Absolutely.
And they don't feel that they have the tools that they need, and that's very emotional.
Well, then you layer on social media where everybody's got 500 people judging them all at once. So those social pressures and the norms that are happening in the social space create this whole other element that we've never seen before. So
and it's hard to deal with.
It is really hard to deal with.
Is. But for the future of Louisiana and the future of our country, we have got to deal with it. And maybe the solution starts here.
Absolutely. Well, we have some bills that are out there that hopefully will solve some of the problem, and then we've got you got an advocate here that'll work on it going forward.
Yeah. Well, thank you, State Representative Mike Echols. Hang with us. We're going to be right back with James Fox Smith in Country Roads talking about all the gyms and the great events that you need to stop and take a moment and plan to go to in the next month or two. We'll be right back.
Cancer is our sole focus at Mary Bird Perkins. Every decision we make is centered around furthering care and lessening the burden of this disease. That absolute focus on cancer allows us to provide breakthrough treatments as we continue to raise the bar and enhance patient outcomes as Louisiana's premier cancer care organization. Whatever cancer sends our way, together, we triumph. Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center.
Money, wellness, fun. Rocket Right Radio takes you all across Louisiana and the nation with guests who live life to the fullest.
I'm Hurricane Betsy Barnes.
I'm Dr. Kay Solar.
You're gonna love it.
Join us every week when we cover
everything under the sun.
Live and learn with the Wright sisters.
Politics,
health,
music and entertainment,
local agnet.
Rocket Right Radio. You're gonna love it.
Hi, I'm Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser of the great state of Louisiana. Hurricane Ida has brought great devastation to our community. In time of need, Louisianans always step up and help their neighbor. This time is no different. We'll help our neighbors and friends get back as we always do. If you need help or know of someone that needs help or would like to volunteer or make a donation, go to volunteerlouisiana.gov. We are Louisiana Strong. Thank you.
As AmeriCorps members and volunteers, we do more than talk about our core values. We take action and commit to making our community stronger.
At AmeriCorps, my commitment to equity gives every student a strong start.
Our compassion brings food and friendship to neighbors in need.
My determination protects parks in my community.
Now more than ever, your community needs you. What's at your core? Learn more at AmeriCorps.gov.
Red Stick Music, Baton Rouge's live music calendar since 2014, with a full calendar available on the website 24/7, clickable links to artists and venues. View the entire weekend lineup at a glance and plan your outings with your friends. View professional recordings of local live musicians, watch interviews with people in our music community, and find additional resources. Red Stick Music, Baton Rouge's live music calendar.
Whitetail Properties real estate experts Jeff Taylor and Reed Taylor understand Louisiana and Mississippi real estate. Whether you're interested in buying or selling large or small tracts of property in Louisiana or Mississippi, Jeff and Reed are the right realtors for whatever you need. Contact Jeff Taylor at 601-248-9433 or Reed Taylor at 601-248-9614. WhitetailProperties.com.
At Hightower Dental Concepts, we take a compassionate approach to family dentistry. Our goal is to make your dental experience comfortable and informative so you can make the best dental care decisions for you and your family. We're welcoming new patients to our dental family at Essen & Perkins, and we look forward to meeting you soon at Hightower Dental Concepts. Call us today at 769-0031 or request your appointment at info@dentalconceptsbr.com.
There's a joy of life you'll find only in Louisiana. A spirit of celebration that takes your senses places they've never been before. Where expressions of joy are an art form and our way of life. Where an abundance of good food, good times, and great music means there's more than enough to go around. Come one, come y'all. Come feed your soul in Louisiana. I'm John Goodman, inviting you to visit LouisianaTravel.com and plan your getaway today.
And you're back with Rocket Right. I am Betsy Barnes, also known as Hurricane Betsy Barnes. We want to wish you and your family a very, very safe Memorial Day. And I'd also like to remind you that Memorial Day is not so much about barbecue and celebrating as much as the original purpose, which was to honor those who have given their life in the service for our country. And so I hope that you'll take a moment to just spend some time with your family, reminding them as you celebrate barbecue, take time off, just to remember those that have fought for the freedoms, our freedom of speech, freedom of faith, freedom of so many things that so many other countries do not have. So it might be a good time to teach your children and grandchildren a little something about the Constitution.
That is well said, Betsy.
Yes. So I'm very patriotic, as you know.
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
As you can see.
I can see it. You got the backdrop?
So we're so glad to welcome James Fox Smith. He's the publisher of Country Roads magazine, along with his wife, Ashley Fox Smith. And you just do such an incredible, beautiful, completely deep dive into all the beautiful things from the North Shore to Natchez, but I think you actually go beyond that.
A little bit beyond that from time to time, Betsy.
Yes.
Thank you.
I love
you very
the email
much.
blast. I love the magazine. I mean, this is just so beautiful. I hope you can see this. You can pick this up in so many places all around South Louisiana, but you do such a beautiful job. It is like reading something where you feel like you can step right in. It's like a great novel, but in small bites.
Well, thank you very much. Thank
you. It's the charcuterie.
It's the tasting plate.
It's
the tasting plate of Louisiana
We
culture.
love to graze through Country Roads magazine.
I might just try to hang on to that one and keep it for future reference if that says it again.
So,
thank you very much.
You're welcome. So you have got some things that you recommend that people go see, do, participate in.
I do.
And you just get the inside scoop on all this. So what are some of the things that people can be doing over the next month or two that you feel they would be remiss if they did not check it out?
I'd love to say so. So, as you know, Betsy, Country Roads has always been about having a richer experience of living in this part of the world. You know, it's we have a tremendously diverse culture, a lot of diversity packed into a pretty small geographic region, which means you do not have to go very far for things to be very different from they are right outside your back door.
Yes.
And that's always been something that Country Roads is. I mean, its tagline has always been adventures close to home.
Yes.
You know, I got my job not from here. You might be able to notice. I got my job. I married in. Nepotism's how I got my job. I married the publisher's daughter.
It's one of the greatest gifts we have in Louisiana.
There you go. Is what moves people around the world, I suppose. But my mother-in-law started Country Roads 40 years ago because she wanted to tell people that there was so much going on that didn't tend to get known about outside of its little communities.
Yes.
And so Country Roads has always been about putting together the pieces so people know not just what's happening around the corner or across town, but also in that next town over, the other side of the Atchafalaya Basin, up the Mississippi River.
An hour
in
away
Natchez.
could change your life.
An hour away can truly change your experience and your perspective on what home's all about. So Country Roads has always been, we've gathered up a month's worth of cultural events that we think are worth knowing about within 2 hours drive of home being Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
And then built around that features about the less known but really treasures of the culture in the visual and performing arts, in history, in architecture, in food, in outdoor adventures, destinations. all within just a couple of hours of where we are. And we've been doing this for 40 years. I've been doing it for 27. We have not run out of things to say.
You have not.
So
because
we're not
people
going to
are kind of reinventing what they do.
They are.
But they keep, I would say, the heritage alive, the heritage of Louisiana, of their family, their community, or whatever. And it just is beautiful the way that things are presented.
Thank you.
Through Country Roads, because it just makes you feel like, gosh, I need to go there and there and there.
Well, what we hope people would do is take hold of this calendar, take a pen, get a cup of coffee, go through it and circle all of the things at the beginning of the month that they're like, if I can get to that, that would be great. A lot of times people aren't going to get to it, but just knowing that you could makes you feel better about the place that you call home.
We've gotten so many guests for our show in 7 years from Country Roads.
Oh, I'm so pleased to hear
Yes, we have.
Well, we're surrounded by people doing truly interesting passion projects as well.
We are.
You know, this is a state filled with people who really care about preserving and perpetuating the culture that surrounds them and the things they care about. I think it's a collection, really, of people who are obsessed with something, who absolutely want to share it.
Who happen to live here and are open to other people joining in.
Yeah, exactly.
So what are some of the events that you think we need to go to?
These are just a few things that I went through, and just coming up over the next few weeks in Louisiana, in Mississippi, that I think are worth considering for your calendar. One is right across the river from here in West Baton Rouge at the West Baton Rouge Museum in Port Allen, and that is an exhibit at the West Baton Rouge Museum about the relationship between sugarcane and rum. It's called From Sugar to Rum. Everybody knows that rum comes from sugarcane. Louisiana has such a rich history in this area, but it's something that until quite recently really hasn't been connected that much to Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
But right up the river in Lakeland, Louisiana, in Point Capee Parish, is Alma Plantation, which is the largest individually family-owned sugar plantation in Louisiana.
Wow.
And they produce 3-roll distillery rum. And it's a fascinating project. It's all of the rum that they create is produced from sugarcane grown right there in Lakeland. It's a beautiful place. And there's an exhibit at the museum which takes you through that entire journey. And it's a fascinating thing which belongs in Louisiana.
Yes.
And is worth knowing about. Have you ever been to dance at Le Poussière Dance Hall in Breaux Louisiana?
No, I have not.
Le Poussière is an old Cajun dance hall. It's been there for more than 70 years, I think 75 years now, and it still opens up a couple of times a month, gets bands in, and the best dancers you have ever seen are going to be on that
love seeing the
floor.
older couples who dance and do all the Cajun dancing, but they move quick.
Oh
I mean,
my
you can tell
gosh,
they've been
they
doing
move
this all their
quick.
life.
Well, they've
but
moved it
they'll
for
teach you if you don't know how.
And you'll see, there won't be one, there'll be two, there'll be 3 generations on that dance floor at the same time.
I've got to go there.
On May the 28th, they're going to have Gino Delafos and French Rock and Boogie there. And if you want to see some dancing, you got to go to Breaux Ridge to La Poussière.
And what's the date?
On May the 28th.
Okay.
So it's coming up this weekend.
All right, good.
And that's going to be a once-in-a-lifetime thing to see. We've got the great Amber Weeks, one of the great jazz singers of American culture, coming to tonight to the Arts Council of Greater Baton Rouge's Jazz Listening Room series.
Oh,
that
wow.
takes place at 7:30 tonight in downtown Baton Rouge.
I love the Arts Council.
So that's going to be fantastic. Shreveport has a Mudbug Madness Festival this weekend, which is huge.
Huge.
Tens of thousands of people in downtown Shreveport. So there's another. Jambalaya Festival in Gonzales happening this weekend.
Oh, they're
as well.
expecting record-breaking crowds.
There are a lot of people with a lot of pent-up demand and passion towards getting out and experiencing what Louisiana has, what they've been missing for the last couple of years.
And it's a cook-off, and they're serious about it.
They are serious about it. It's going to be the best jambalaya you have tasted.
That is the truth.
You're absolutely right. And I mean...
And music.
Live music, absolutely pumping out from everywhere. A couple of other things that we wrote about, and this is the May issue of the magazine, that I wanted to make sure people know about. Do you know about Wild Bush Farm and Vineyard, north of Lake Pontchartrain, Covington, Bush, Louisiana?
No.
So Pontchartrain Vineyards, it's now called... Pontchartrain Vineyards was Louisiana's first sort of bunch grapes winemaker. It's recently been sold to a couple who are from Louisiana but spent a long time working in Napa Valley, and they're producing like naturally filtered wines right there on the North Shore out of Pontchartrain Vineyards, replanting wines now, but they're buying grapes in and making their own wines, and they're really good.
I'm going to have to try that. I love to
They're
go to
amazing.
vineyards. I love to see their process. And I wonder if they're on the libations trail for the Office of Tourism.
I
because,
believe if they're not already, then they're certainly going
yeah, they
to.
need to be.
Now, they've been there for a while. What they're doing that's really cool is they have a live music, outdoor live music scene called Jazz in the Vines, and they bring musicians in all of the time to do outdoor concerts. You bring a picnic, you buy a bottle of wine, the band plays outside, and you sit in the vineyard and you listen to it. It's such a fun night out.
That is.
This weekend they've got MIA Borders and 10-gallon tinfoil hat playing.
Wow.
They're both playing concerts out there north of Lake Pontchartrain. It's an hour's drive from here. It's a great
It's a
night
good
out.
time. And I hate that we only have just 30 seconds left.
Oh, one
but
more?
how can people find you? How can they find these wonderful, delicious things to do?
150 to 200 events each month at countryroadsmag.com, plus all of the feature stories that we write about that give you ideas for events, not only that, but destinations, weekend getaways, inns and bed and breakfasts, cultural activities, outdoor nature getaways. We've even got a story in the June issue on the first and only clothing optional resort in Louisiana.
Oh,
so you're
my
going to have to look that one up.
Yeah, we'll have to look that one up.
I'm telling
For the
you, it's a
brave.
story you cannot believe.
For the bold.
No photos, but we did have an illustration.
James Fox Smith with Country Roads Magazine. Thank you for always keeping us entertained.
Such a pleasure, Betsy.
I really appreciate you being here,
It's a
and thank you. And we'll be right back with Jay Hover. He's going to be talking about all the fun that you can have at Red Stick Social, right on the train track near downtown Baton Rouge. We'll be right back.
At Hightower Dental Concepts, we take a compassionate approach to family dentistry. Our goal is to make your dental experience comfortable and informative so you can make the best dental care decisions for you and your family. We're welcoming new patients to our dental family at Essen & Perkins, and we look forward to meeting you soon at Hightower Dental Concepts. Call us today at 769-0031 or request your appointment at info@dentalconceptsbr.com.
Some call it joie de vivre, the joy of life. In Louisiana, it's our way of life. From music that shakes up your senses to food that wakes up your palate. That joy vibrates in every note we play and spices up every meal we serve. So come live life to the fullest. Come one, come y'all, come feed your soul in Louisiana. I'm Sean Ardway, inviting you to plan your trip at louisianatravel.com.
Hi, I'm Katie, Operation Manager here at Old School Barbecue. We're excited about all of the changes here at Old School, and we'd like to invite everyone to come out and enjoy some delicious barbecue at Old School prices. We feature brisket, chicken, ribs, sausage, and the Boss Hog pulled pork sandwich voted best deal in town. We also have live music Friday and Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m. 10655 Coursey Boulevard. We can't wait to see you.
Since the early 1800s, the Selassie family has played a significant role in the retail industry in Louisiana. Stuart Selassie has achieved the Certified Diamond Graduate designation from the prestigious Gemological Institute of America. What that means to you, whether it's appraisals, design, build, repair, or diamond sales, you have an expert you can count on. At Selassie's, you make all the right choices. Selassie Jewelry and Fine Gifts in the heart of the Denham Springs Antique District. Find them on Facebook.
The use of opioids and addiction to opioids is on the rise, especially in Louisiana, and I wanted to be a part of the solution. If you have a family member or loved one that you are concerned about with regard to opioid use, please call my clinic, Advantage Health Solutions. You can speak with my nurse or you can speak with myself, and we will talk to you about how to get that person into treatment, and we'll tailor what we do to your needs, and we'll do what we can to get your loved one in treatment and onto the path to health.
As AmeriCorps members and volunteers, we do more than talk about our core values. We take action and commit to making our community stronger.
At AmeriCorps, my commitment to equity gives every student a strong start.
Our compassion brings food and friendship to neighbors in need.
My determination protects parks in my community.
Now more than ever, your community needs you. What's at your core? Learn more at AmeriCorps.gov.
Whitetail Properties real estate experts Jeff Taylor and Reed Taylor understand Louisiana and Mississippi real estate. Whether you're interested in buying or selling large or small tracts of property in Louisiana or Mississippi, Jeff and Reed are the right realtors for whatever you need. Contact Jeff Taylor at 601-248-9433 or Reed Taylor at 601-248-9614. WhitetailProperties.com.
Cancer is our sole focus at Mary Bird Perkins. Every decision we make is centered around furthering care and lessening the burden of this disease. That absolute focus on cancer allows us to provide breakthrough treatments as we continue to raise the bar and enhance patient outcomes as Louisiana's premier cancer care organization. Whatever cancer sends our way, together, we triumph. Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center.
With Rocket Right, I am Hurricane Betsy Barnes. We're rolling into Memorial Day weekend, and it's going to be a good one. And so we're here with Jay Hover. He is the guy. He's the man in the know for great music, musicians, bands. And you really look at things kind of a regional and national level, and then you bring them to Baton Rouge through Red Stick Social and Beauvoir Park.
Correct. Yeah, we our phone lines are open. Our email address is out there. So if you're looking to book a gig, give me a shout, and we'll see if we can work you in. And that's what Louisiana's all about, supporting local music and elsewhere as well.
So I really love some of the things that you're doing at Red Stick Social. So you have the Outdoor Makers Market, and if you've never been, it is a lot of artisans, just a variety, such a great variety. If you need a gift for someone or you want to buy something for yourself, but it's great to just wander and kind of talk to the artists, and that's kind of a Saturday thing fairly often. How often are y'all doing that now?
You know, I know a big shout out to the local pop-up girls from Sweet Baton Rouge over there at Electric Depot, but I want to say at least one Saturday out of every month. I think when the weather's good, oftentimes more, but as you said, supporting local art vendors, trinkets and all kinds of cool stuff, coffee, cookies, anything that you can buy. Yeah, no doubt.
And people that really care about the quality of what they're doing.
That's right.
And so that's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So if you're not familiar with Red Stick Social is this big, beautiful building that was the original electric depot that supplied electricity to Louisiana in the 1930s.
Correct.
It is such a cool space. It's an industrial space, but it's also an event venue. It's also a restaurant. It's also a bar. It's whatever you need it to be.
That's right.
It's the chameleon of downtown Baton Rouge.
Right. Private events, bowling, live music, obviously, food and drink. Give us a call, book your next private event or corporate event, whatever it may be. They're rolling out crawfish boils. They're doing a lot of great stuff. Obviously, my focus music, and we're doing some great stuff this weekend.
So tell me about what you got going on for Memorial Day weekend.
So Groovin' on the Grass Fest. Last year we had a great turnout, 800 plus people out at Red Stick Social, spread throughout Electric Depot. This year we've got Sunday, the 30th, 29th?
Whatever. The 29th?
29th, correct. Michael Foster Project, Peyton Falgout, and Bag of Donuts headline for us. So,
look, all of those If you say you're bored, you're just living under a rock,
Right.
okay? Because those are all great bands.
No doubt.
I am not a musician, nor am I a singer. I can't play an instrument. I took lessons, but it just wasn't my thing. But I am a great audience member because I will be out there dancing, clapping, shouting. I mean, so if you're just a good audience member and you have no musical talent, this is your gig. This is where you need to go.
And we support the bar
On
as
Sunday.
well. Yeah.
That's right. That's right, Sunday. And so do you have something on Monday, Memorial Day Monday?
No, nothing. They've been doing a Red Beans and Rice Monday at Red Stick Social with Michael Foster. He's been kind of
so good,
subbing in, subbing out where he can. We've got great talent. Free Red Beans and Rice every Monday. So
cook the real way.
That's right, exactly right.
Yeah. So tell me about some of the bands you have coming up, or some of the different types of things that you have that people are drawn to, because you usually have like Ladies' Night on Thursday night.
That's right.
And that's a variety of different music.
Yeah, half off drinks. I know for Ladies' Night Thursday nights. We got some big plans for the outdoor space at Red Stick Social.
Tell us about that.
Yeah,
tell us, just in case somebody has not listened to us before, about Red Stick Social.
So, little teaser, we're about to break ground on a great new permanent outdoor stage, beer garden type area. So we're going to put this permanent structure in place, which should be ready by fall, and by the time the weather gets a little better and the kids get back in school.
Yeah.
But we're going to AstroTurf the entire outside, put some bars and stuff out there to make it more inviting and a cool place to watch a football game, and obviously live music as well.
Mm-hmm. So on Monday nights, Red Beans and Rice. What's Tuesday night?
Tuesday night, that is a great question. I think
just
it's
hang
Taco
out.
Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday.
Exactly. So $2 tacos. Come out and eat and have some drinks, margaritas, whatever you like.
And then Wednesday you have jazz.
Wednesday we used to have jazz. We've kind of shifted that to Sundays in our laid-back brunches.
Yes.
So you can come see a solo acoustic guitarist or a duo, or oftentimes a great little jazz quintet, whatever it may be. And
I love it when you have like a really great musician, whether it's acoustic or duet, one or two people, or you have a full band.
Of course.
We love some Chris LeBlanc.
Of course.
We love some David St. Romain.
That's right.
Yeah. Michael Foster Project, we've mentioned.
They're all, they've all got a happy home at Red Stick Social. And,
that's right.
We love to work them in as often as possible, and so all good stuff.
So what are some of the big events or the big bands or any of the things that you have coming up in the future?
So obviously
And Beauvoir Park. Don't forget, we can't forget Beauvoir Park.
Beauvoir Park, to mention that as well, this coming Friday, the 27th, we're doing a big Memorial Day weekend country bash. So a little bit of country flavor, some up-and-coming honky-tonk artists, James McCann and the Northbound Drifters, Eleanor Thibodeau, and Dominic Michael, who I'm not sure y'all have seen yet, but he's on the rise and putting out some great stuff. So got 3 bands one night at Beauvoir Park starting at 7 p.m. We're going to have Tamale 12, which is a local tamale maker, be out there selling some tamales, and should be a great time. I know we're dealing with some weather stuff this week, but the weather looks absolutely perfect this weekend.
It's going to rain early in the week and be done.
So we're looking at mid-80s, 60s at night. Couldn't be better weather for live music, and we've got the lineups this weekend, whether it be at Beauvoir Park or Red Stick Social. So
that is so awesome. I love Beauvoir Park because you can go. It's behind Building 5, under the overpass. It's like going to somebody's big backyard.
Exactly.
Got a few church pews if you don't bring your own chair. Neat stage out there. Cool lighting. Just a lot of fun. You can bring your kids. You can bring your dog. It's a real just clean, fun, easy, sitting in the backyard, listening to some great live music. I love that.
Exactly.
And then with Red Stick Social, same thing. You can bring your kids. You can enjoy. I mean, a lot of moms enjoy going there kind of late afternoon.
Oh, yeah.
Pick up the kids from school. Wide open spaces.
Let them go bowl, grab a drink for happy hour, and everyone's having a good time. So
yeah, and y'all have a great chef.
Absolutely.
You got some great food, very fresh.
Yep.
Everything is really delicious.
No doubt about it.
So what would be kind of your wish list between now and the fall of some of the bands or some of the different events that you'd like to host that you're just in the midst of putting together? Because I can tell you're holding back.
Well,
you got a few secrets there, Jay.
I've always got something up my sleeve.
You do.
But, as we break ground on the outdoor permanent stage, that's obviously going to kind of shift a focus inside. I I want to say July 3rd, which is the Sunday before July 4th, we plan to do another great event, kind of similar to the Memorial Day stuff we're doing now. So 2-3 bands that afternoon. Red Stick Social, it's the party band central, whether it be wedding bands or cover bands or Bag of Donuts or Molly Ringwalds like we had last year.
Yeah.
You come out, party. It doesn't matter who's playing. I can guarantee you'll have a good time.
And you're going to see a bunch of people that you know, that you hadn't seen in a while.
No doubt.
I always enjoy that. But you really do host some really great private events, too.
Yes, whether it be Beauvoir Park or Red Stick Social. Obviously, Red Stick Social is a vast space, and we can accommodate 3, 4, 5 private parties at a time. The crawfish have been outstanding this season, I will say.
I have not had crawfish there.
Wow.
You've motivated me.
Yeah. Big D, our chef, is he's really changed the game over there. And as you said, the seafood is fresh, and the vibes are good. So
y'all have got to go see their Facebook and Instagram, because y'all had you were the location for a 40th birthday party that was over the top. It made me want to have a birthday party there. It was over the top. It was wonderful. And because the spaces are so diverse, you can do small space, big space.
Exactly.
But I think that it's a great venue also for all artists, for visual arts, performing arts, whatever it is. So, and have you heard anything more about the train coming by? Because the train is going to connect Baton Rouge to New Orleans, and it goes right by there. I think there needs to be a train depot at Electric Depot.
Hey, it makes sense to us, and that would be a home run as far as we're concerned to bring people here, whether it be for game days, LSU football. Stop on in, come check out Red Stick Social, everything they've got to offer, we've got to offer, and we promise you have a good time.
And there's some other really cool businesses right there.
Of course.
So the owner of the Emporium came on the show, and that is not only massage therapy, but all types of aesthetic services. And that's right there in that complex. You've got Sweet Baton Rouge, which, being a homegirl from Baton Rouge, I love all their slogans and sayings and things that they print on T-shirts or cute clothing. There's some really good the coffee place there. What's it called? Is it
City Roots Coffee?
City Roots.
Unbelievable. The ramen shop, Boru Ramen.
That is very good.
They've
very
got
different.
The local pop-up girls have put in a new retail space called Local Supply, to where they're taking in all the local vendors and makers that you see out there each Saturday and actually giving them some retail shelving to push their products as well. So,
well, I think you need to go to one of my favorite places, Red Stick Social. And I think you need to check out the stuff that they've got going on redstickmusic.com. No relation, but certainly collaboration.
Exactly.
And Country Roads Magazine. You just really need to check out all the cool and fun things there. And so we thank you so much, Jay, for coming.
Thank you for having me back.
And I'm glad that you did. And we just thank Representative Mike Echols. And just remember, if you're going to rock it, make sure you rock it right. Rock It Right with Betsy Barnes and Dr. K. Solar is brought to you by these generous sponsors. Partners One, Better Barter for Baton Rouge and beyond.
Mary Bird Perkins, Our Lady of the Lake Cancer Center, Selassie Jewelry and Fine Gifts, Advantage Health Solutions with Dr. Boyd Michael Helm, Hightower Dental Concepts with Dr. Leah Larson, City Group Hospitality including City Pork Brasserie and Bar, City Pork Catering, City Slice, City Taco, Rouge Creole, and Beau Soleil.
Talent 360 Consulting with Vicki Little. Jeff Taylor, Realtor and Forester with Whitetail Properties. The 3rd Street Songwriters Festival. Elite Chiropractic with Dr. Ron McMorris. LouisianaIsATrip.com. Take one. Thank you for making our show possible.